What is up? Welcome back to Science Squad, and in this video we're going to revisit UX portfolios yet again. And specifically, if you remember my previous video, how UX hiring managers review your portfolios, there are some things which people still wanted answered. And specifically, one of the questions was, if a junior UX design portfolios, what are the three things you're looking for? And to be entirely honest, it's really hard to pinpoint just three things. There's just so many things which add up again to the potential to be hired, as well as the tangible things you can immediately pick up given the limited knowledge as a UX designer. And so number one pain point, I guess, or opportunity, depends how you look at it. Hiring managers are always going to look if you really understand what UX is about. If you can distinguish between UX and UI, this is super relevant for junior designers who, let's say, might come from design background, psychology background, something which has nothing to do with UX, let's say. And then we confuse because we see those flashy, floating mock-ups, and people are talking about digital design and UI interchangeably with the UX, and it just adds so much confusion. And without going too deep into it, reality is that UI is really just a product, just a solution type to making better experiences. And as an example, let's say if you send me a portfolio of 20 different mock-ups for different applications, but there is no depth to it, there is no deliverables for UX, let's say, or how you got to that point, then that result is really meaningless. And that's kind of like gonna push into a pile to UI designers who want to do UX. And that's totally fine if that's the case. Maybe you want to do multidisciplinary approach and you want to become like a product designer who does a lot of rich UI work but also does some of the UX work, then that's totally fine. But then you need to be specific to that. A lot of people still leave leftovers, what they call like really undigestible and not appetizing leftovers in their portfolios, and that has to do, let's say, with branding or logos and all that jazz, which is like, it just tells me that you're confused of what UX is about. And so if you can clarify those things and actually showcase yourself as a UX designer, as long as you're applying for UX or research role, and you're more likely to get it. And that's what I would be looking for. And now number two is showcasing that you understand what UX is about. Again, it's not mistaking to anything else, but it's also showcasing maybe just, a few steps of your typical approach, of your ideal approach. So understand, okay, this person knows what design thinking is about. They know how to use certain methods. They know what methods come after which case and why to use those methods. And it could be as simple as just showing a timeline of how you would approach or how you did approach a specific project, but also showcasing some of those activities and giving rationale why you used it. Let's say maybe it's a persona, maybe it's a UX map. How did you arrive to that point? Why did you decide to use it? What did you get out of it? How did that transfer to the next step? So showcasing those bits, and then I can think, okay, that person maybe doesn't know 100% why they did what they did, but since they exposed to it, since they knew some of the methods, since they knew how to roughly tie it in, there is a lot of potential in that person. Because with some coaching, with some guidance, with some good UX leadership, they can go out, learn about those things and improve themselves and then go from there. So that's what I'm looking for specifically in junior portfolios, but as well as at midway to senior and so on, because portfolios don't really change and what we look for don't really change. It's still the same qualities. Sometimes we get portfolios where, let's say, you have 20 different methods, you have different deliverable showcases, it's just way too much, and it always leaves the hiring manager baffled because they don't know really how much of it you did yourself or how much the team helped you, how big your involvement was, and how much of it was really hands-on, how much of it did you drive yourself, how much did you understand that that was the right method and why. To be entirely honest, I think 9 out of 10 portfolios are full of bullshit. And it's probably usually expressed as white lies, and it's probably meant in the best way, where people either undertone certain bits and don't want to talk about certain bits, or they push upwards bits which they think showcase their capability and their potential best. But when there's something missing and the story just doesn't add up, and it almost doesn't matter where the case studies come from, it's sometimes from boot camps, sometimes from very experienced people, sometimes it's for very junior who are self-taught, that they just wanted to cover up some crap But to me, it's like always uncover the crap. The more crap you uncover and say these are the challenges I dealt with, the better it looks like, because you showcase that you are aware, that you are curious, that you are not afraid of challenges. Again, adds to that potential because you are not afraid to tackle the challenge. Even if you might not arrive fully at that ending and cover everything 100%, as long as you cover just bits and you're honest about it and say, okay, what we did at least benefited users in that and that and that regard. These are the goals we answered. Maybe the solution is not ideal, but that's what we could have done in given situation, given limits. You know, it could be technological limits, feasibility limits, viability limits from business. Maybe that's what you had to do with the budget and scope, and you couldn't influence it as a junior, let's say, or midweight. It's totally fine, but you need to be honest. And just from personal experience, because I've been there, I've done that. I had so many portfolio iterations, and it's almost like every year remaking those portfolios and adding new cases and better cases. I now can understand how much bullshit would I include myself back in the day, because I thought that, okay, this is good enough and it's gonna tell good enough story and I'm gonna get in. But reality is, hiring managers can always tell if you're honest, if your material is honest, and if it's gonna tie in. And chances are, even if you get an interview, they're gonna dig deeper to understand exactly where you came from. And the bad stuff always comes out. So don't bullshit, just be honest and make your portfolio as honest as you can without making stuff up. And so on that note, give a like to this video, subscribe to this channel if you haven't done so. Check the video if you missed about how hiring managers assess your portfolios, and until next time.